Thanks, Reed. I'm sitting here with USC Rugby head coach Dave Lytle and team captains Joey Krasenstein and Heiko Kasuk. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Rugby's maybe not the most popular sport in America, but you're all here and you love playing rugby at USC. So I wonder, how have you all gotten your start in rugby?
I started playing rugby when my family moved overseas in middle school. There was no American football, so I picked up rugby as something to fill in my contact need for sports.
I watched rugby on television. USC's home rugby games and UCLA's used to be televised on alternate weekends whenever they were at home. And I was 12, 13 then. I didn't play, I just watched. And came to USC and played here for the first time.
I had a similar experience, I'd say. Where I grew up in San Jose, there wasn't much rugby. I played soccer and I ran track and field. But I knew it was something I wanted to try, so when I came out freshman year, thought I'd give it a go, and now it's been 4 years.
Joey and Coach, I know you both used to play football. What's the difference, would you say, between a football athlete and a rugby athlete?
I'd say in general, a rugby athlete needs to be more well-rounded in terms of skills. Football is very skill-specific, meaning you have your guys who are, over 300 pounds, and what they're meant to do is very little. You push, and then you gotta protect your quarterback, and it's very one role. Whereas rugby, you have to play both offense and defense. You have to be in great cardio shape. The game is 80 minutes long, so you have to make sure you got the shape to run all 80 minutes. And then you just have to be able to play both sides of the ball.
One of the things that impressed me more about rugby is the camaraderie. You can go anywhere in the world, and if you played rugby, you meet other rugby players, and there's a bond. Mm-hmm. And that bond doesn't exist in football. College football was a lot of fun to play, don't get me wrong, but rugby is just a whole lot more fun because everyone gets to handle the ball. Mm-hmm. Linemen, what would be considered linemen in football, are props. Handle the ball, run with the ball. I think, as Joey said, guys have, more fun playing rugby.
Coach, you've been having fun with rugby for a long time.
A long time.
Started in the 40s. This is your last season at the helm after 29 seasons at USC. What are you going to take away from coaching rugby here, playing rugby here?
I'll tell you what I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss the guys. And hearing from guys as they go on in life and start contributing. You better talk because I'll get too emotional.
Heiko, you've been around Coach for a while now. What's the most important thing you've learned from him?
I would say, Wednesday and Thursday night at practice, what Coach Dave will always say is no drinking and sex before the game. But jokes aside, I think there's a lot to learn from, Coach Dave. He's been here for 30 years and just that consistent voice. And as I'm sure you saw before this interview, he is just a wealth of stories. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the kind of guy he is. And I think a lot of the guys, we look up to you, Coach.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're a man of your word, and that's very admirable. Something I hope to, bring into my life.
Yeah. So you guys are 2-3 on the season.
Yeah.
And your last home game is going to be this Saturday against Cal State Long Beach, before you go off on the road for a Pac-12 tournament. What do you hope to get out of Saturday's game and the alumni weekend that comes along with it?
So this weekend's going to be huge for the program. We got a lot of activities planned. Obviously, Cal State Long Beach, they're a really good, talented team. They're the top of our division right now. So competing well against them is our number one goal, and putting on points and hopefully coming away with a W is number one. Aside from that, with all these alumni coming in, hopefully just showing, good front for USC Rugby, and with Coach Dave retiring, that's showing, the program's in good hands, and we hope to continue growing into a real Pac-12 contender after this year.
Thank you guys for joining us. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
And let's send it back to Ken.